Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Season 1 finale of Having a Ball. I really hope there's a second season.
All right, you mustachioed, bald, pink sweater-wearing weirdo. How's it going?
It's pretty good, but this is a t-shirt, not a sweater.
Sorry, a t-shirt. But you are pulling off a pink t-shirt. Not everyone can do that.
Pink, it's the official color of Having a Ball logo, isn't it?
This is true. Has anyone given you a pink ball hat since the last episode?
Still not.
Who are you people?
I haven't received any ball hats, actually. What's wrong?
Anywho, welcome to the New Year's episode. That's more or less what you said in the intro, right?
Absolutely. It's the New Year's episode, the final episode of Season 1. As we said, since early next week, I'll be going into the hospital and hopefully coming out.
Yes, so this could be your sort of final interview in theory. Let's hope not, but it could be.
It could be, and then people next year be like, hey, whatever happened to that Having a Ball show? Did it get canceled before Season 2? And they'll be like, yeah, you could say that.
So I have to put this in context, and I have to say it as delicately as I humanly can. I have another podcast job where I interview artists, Norwegian ones, and I fairly recently interviewed a very big Norwegian artist, and 6 days after he died, like for real. I don't want that to be a habit, Joe. So if you can just survive, that would be swell.
Okay, if I don't, next thing you do is try and figure out a way to like interview Donald Trump or something.
He's at top of my list for 2022. Hey,
Perfect.
Donald.
Yeah. Anyway, hi everybody. Hi, nice to be back in this episode.
The weirdest year on record.
Well, it's even weirder than I thought. Like, I don't think I've told this in the story yet. Very early this year, in like February or March, I was walking home from a friend's place and got robbed at gunpoint.
Yes.
And this is something that does not happen in Switzerland, not at all in Little Neuchâtel. Nobody's ever heard of it. So I was 100% sure that would be like the worst thing that happened to me this year.
And God, even though I don't believe him, said, hold my beer.
Exactly that. I mean, I couldn't have made a whole podcast about being held up in the street, so...
We could have, but it would have been repetitive. I mean, people make podcasts about all sorts of weird shit. So, has anyone else told you look like a German porn star?
No, not yet. I mean, I've got that a lot because I had the same mustache before.
This is your Rami Malek impression going strong.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, cancer doesn't discriminate. Whatever gender or race or fluidity or whatever you have, cancer pulls through and just strikes you down.
Yeah, I mean, testicular cancer discriminates a little bit.
Fair point. Do you think there are ladies who are jealous that they can't get testicular cancer?
That's a pretty stupid question.
That is. But which leads me to the next question. You know, this is a delicate matter, and I'm going to fuck it up either way. But you know people who have transitioned in terms of gender. Used to be a woman, now a man. Mm-hmm. I haven't done enough research on the whole reproductive area, but do they also get testicles? And if so, can they get testicular cancer?
I would imagine they probably do get testicles, but my guess would be that they're like my fake one. So I doubt they can get, yes, exactly. Like the balls on a Christmas tree. They're purely decorative.
I'm sure there are some formerly ladies, now men out there who will be outraged that they can't have testicular cancer. Because there's supposed to be equality between the sexes.
Possibly, yeah.
Because there are men who get breast cancer. Very few, but it happens.
This is true. Yeah, that's true. But so far, we've made it 12 episodes, I guess in large part thanks to my cancer, but also thanks to the people watching us.
It's the first time I've ever heard somebody thanking cancer. Standing there with your Oscar. I couldn't have done this without you, cancer.
But yeah, we couldn't have done it without cancer, but also all our numerous listeners, and we've said it before and we'll say it again, it's really nice to get the feedback.
It is.
I got notably one really nice long message through Facebook or Instagram about somebody who was actually writing me from the Inselspital in Bern.
Ooh.
Who had gone through the same procedure with the same doctor, and he said he's very good. He did then add that he was back because of complications, but did tell me this is the first time they've seen this thing in 30 years, so don't worry about it. It shouldn't happen to me.
He was the first one with complications.
With this complication, at least, in 30 years, so I shouldn't be too worried about it happening to me. And this was Philippe, by the way. Hi, Philippe. Not my IV stand, but Philippe. Also, another frequent listener you've heard of, my dad.
Yes.
So I think every week has a correction.
Let's hear it.
Well, last week you were saying, like, what other kind of juices are there than fruit juice? Vegetable?
Well, that's sort of the same thing.
Yeah, he had a point, though. I mean, all our California listeners drinking down kale juice with carrot topping were probably like, dude, this!
This is true. I do drink a lot of kale smoothies that I make myself because I'm disgusting. But
Why do you do that? You drink kale smoothies?
I do.
You should have said, like kale, I do.
I do drink kale smoothies because my, what's it called? My digestive system doesn't work. Like, I don't have a metabolism at all. So I can't eat anything, more or less, unless I want to turn into a big bad balloon.
Other than the fact that you don't have cancer, is there anything going right health-wise for you?
No. But I've had this my entire life. It's not now. It's always. So I don't eat a lot because I get humongous. And that's not a jab at fat people. I just don't want to be one. But anyway, back to the juice. The juice. What type of vegetable juice? You have carrot. Tomato is a fruit.
Tomato is a fruit, but as they say, it's a fruit, but a wise man knows not to put it in a fruit salad.
This is a good expression. But you have carrot juice. What more do you have that are
Kale
vegetables?
Juice?
Is kale juice a thing?
I think so. I think they do make kale smoothies.
Yes, but that means you put kale in a smoothie and or a juicer. Can you buy kale juice in a store?
I would imagine you can in certain countries. You can't yet here, but probably really health-conscious place. I would bet you if you go to a health food store in Southern California, that you probably have the choice out of every single vegetable you want. Hey, how about a big glass of turnip?
All right, so I'm planning to go back to LA in like April. You're joining me, and
Okay.
we're making a juice testing show. Having it out with the juice.
That sounds like...
And we'll only get like Larry David, Jerry Seinfeld, Seth Rogen, people like that to be on the show and test juice with us.
You mean funny people?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Something we're not.
Indeed.
All right, so you're sitting in a t-shirt in what looks like a sunny day. I'm sitting in a wool sweater, freezing my nuts off. This is the 30th of December. We're recording this.
We are indeed. Here in Neuchâtel, it's about 12 degrees outside right now. I can see the Alps right there. I mean, they're not right there. They're quite a bit further that direction, but I can see beautiful Alps and the sun over there.
That's
and
nice.
it's pretty warm. Yeah, I know that lots of my friends are playing pétanque this afternoon. That's what I'd be doing if I weren't doing this with you.
Cool. Anywho, back to the most asked question of 2021. How you doing, Joe?
Well, still, all in all, pretty good. Feeling fine. It's been 2 months since I finished the chemotherapy. And as Philippe, the guy who wrote me on Facebook, said, he also had to wait 6 or 8 weeks between the chemo and the operation, which is perfectly normal. He wanted to reassure me. Mm-hmm. So physically, I feel fine. And the only thing that I'm really sick and tired of, and I've said it before, is these syringes. Every day I have to give myself a shot. It's starting to get difficult to find places in my belly that aren't hard from having given shots before.
Yeah.
So I have to sort of find a place, and then if you go into a hard spot and sort of don't do it very precisely, then I start bleeding, and since I'm under blood thinners, it just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds. But then after a while, it's fine.
All right, so how long do you have to do this?
Until the day before my operation. Because,
so it's only 3-4 more days.
Yeah, but then I'll start again after the operation.
And how long do you have to do it after that?
I have no idea. They have not given me an end time yet.
But if your stomach looks like the beaches of Normandy, can you start putting the syringe somewhere else at some point?
Well, the good news, I guess one could say, is that I'm going to have to after that. Because first of all, my stomach is going to have a giant scar running through it.
That's true.
Which won't be the perfect place. So then one would think I could still use the thighs. But apparently, because of they're taking out lymph nodes during the operation, it does something to the lymphatic system, which means I can't use my legs. So I'll have to do it in my lower bicep, apparently.
Okay.
Which I've heard is complicated to do by yourself, and you got to lean back and put your weight against a wall to get the arm and then stab it. And I don't know. It's going to be fun.
That sounds like a hoot.
Luckily, I know a few nurses, so I may get a little bit of help, at least for the first few times.
So for the unforeseeable future, you have to stab yourself daily.
Exactly.
Have you ever considered just dying would have been more comfortable?
It probably would have. I'm not even sure. Had I just done nothing, I don't know if I'd be dead yet. If I just said, I'll just see how this works out myself. I don't trust doctors.
Like a Republican approach.
Yeah, or...
Leave it in the hands of God.
Exactly.
That could be the darkest sentence that has been uttered on this show. So yeah, good stuff. Good.
To get back to cancer, so as I've told you, next week, in less than a week, I'm getting the operation. Mm-hmm. But I had to go back to Bern to the Inselspital a couple of weeks ago to go meet the nurse, the anesthesiologist, and I was there for a couple of hours. It was quite nice, I guess. I spoke to the nurse in German, only in German, so maybe I misunderstood everything she said. That's possible.
Out of 100%, how would you rate your own German?
It's hard to tell. I'm good at understanding and listening, and I have a good accent, but my vocabulary and grammar are not great. I can never think of the words, but I can understand most things. I can read a newspaper in German and get the gist.
All right, so you're over 50% then.
I would say so, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty good in German. And the fact that I speak English does help a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
But so I met the nurse and just explaining how things were going to work. I was going to be there for a week. The fact that, as always, they're there for whatever I need. She was making sure if I feel any pain at any point to tell them immediately, because you don't want to wait until this pain has nicely set in. Otherwise, it's too late. Then she taught me things I hadn't thought I'd have to know. She said, okay, now I'm going to show you how to get out of bed. And I was like, what? I know how to do that. But she said, yeah, do you know how to do that with a giant scar across your stomach?
So it is a cross, right? We've probably covered this before.
Lower, but yeah, on the abdomen to one side. So not completely centered, but it'll probably be like this long, if not more. And so she said the thing is, the way you usually get out of bed, you pull certain muscles that will hurt my stomach. So I got to sort of roll onto the side and get my feet down and then push myself up with the hands. I've been trying to practice doing that now, but it's sort of difficult because you don't think of it because I'm in no pain.
All right, so you have a scar on your stomach, which will lead to pain.
I guess not just the scar, the fact that they'll have been rooting around in there too.
Is there any food you can't eat or anything?
I have not asked, actually.
Like hot food, in terms of spicy, I mean, not warm.
I don't know yet. I know that it'll take them a couple of days at the hospital to get me back onto normal food. So I guess they'll explain it to me then. And they did say they would also have me speak with a nutritionist at some point. So I'll get the tips.
So you will be put on kale juice.
Well, they might tell me to drink kale juice. I didn't say I would listen to everything they say.
The good thing about kale juice, if you just add anything else, it doesn't taste like kale, like berries or something. It's a good tip from this nutritionist.
Sounds good. I'll bear that in mind. You know that if you don't put kale in it, it also doesn't taste like kale.
Yeah, but it's apparently healthy and all that good stuff.
Okay. But so I met this really nice nurse for a while, but I also met the anesthesiologist.
The fist bumping guy? Again?
No, this time just literally the anesthesiologist, the guy who's going to put me to sleep and hopefully wake me up.
Did he have like a cloak on?
He did not have a cloak. He had his mask, obviously, like one does nowadays.
That's pretty close to a cloak.
What's funny is that he really, really looked, at least the little bit I could see of him to me. It's funny because you mentioned him before. He looked like Rami Malek, the guy who plays Freddie Mercury in the Bohemian Rhapsody movie.
Nice.
I kept expecting him to break out into song or something.
Did you tell him?
I did not.
Maybe it was Rami Malek. Did you ever see his face? Maybe
No.
he interns on
Then he said, you have cancer, and I was like, Mamma Mia! And he didn't start singing, though, so I guess it wasn't him.
I see a little canceru. Canceru.
Exactly. And it's funny because in Neuchâtel, I also met the anesthesiologist before I had the testicle taken out. Mm-hmm. But that was a pretty short meeting, and I guess because it was a pretty small operation, small procedure. This being quite a bit of a bigger thing, I spent at least half an hour with the anesthesiologist, basically telling me all the stuff that could go wrong, which is his job, and telling me all the catheters I will have stuck in me during this operation. I'll have at least 5 or 6 tubes stuck into various places. First of all, one will go directly into my spine.
A tube into your spine.
Yes, that's so they can give me painkillers directly at the source where I need it. Instead of like you take a pill and the painkiller goes through your whole body, here it'll just go to where I need it. And so that was rather nice. He said, yeah, it's a little bit of a complicated procedure, but we do it tons of time. We're really used to it. Don't worry. I was like, oh, cool. He said, yeah, at least like once a week, which didn't seem like that much to me at that point, but I trust him. And he said that I'll be the first person in the morning at 7 a.m. in the hospital room. And that's the first thing they'll do is stick that tube in my back. The reason being that they want me to still be awake so I can tell them if I suddenly feel electricity in my leg or something. That way they can know they're in the wrong spot.
Wow.
Doesn't that sound fun?
That sounds like that game Operation.
A little bit. Then I know I'll have tubes going into my aorta. And that'll be more or less for in case there's a problem, actually. Because they're operating next to the cava vein, obviously if there's a problem, it's a lot of blood that disappears. They have to have a way to get lots of blood back in quickly. So just in case, they have a tube hooked up to my aorta. And so I guess they know what they're doing. I hope.
Yeah.
And then, he's explained that. I'll go in the morning at 7, get tubed up, and then get operated on and hopefully be fine a few days later. One thing I'm going to ask, I very much doubt I'll be able to do this, but I would love, is to ask a nurse if anybody can take a photograph of me when I have my intestines next to my body.
Wow.
Well, because they're going to cut me open and take that out to operate, and I figure might as well get a picture if somebody's willing. I'm thinking just for like hygiene reasons, they might not want to take my photo in. But hey, I might as well ask. You never know.
I would love that. Like, not to necessarily see your intestines, but like if I was in your shoes. You probably don't wear shoes when you're on an operating table, but you know what I'm saying.
I wear clogs to get operated on, actually. Speaking of things that lots of people hate, I got a rather interesting, well, that too, but I got a rather interesting Christmas present this year.
Yes.
I've told you about my friends that I've asked to make me a fake testicle floating in a jar of formaldehyde.
Yes.
They haven't made that yet, partly because it grosses them out a little bit. But they will do it. But anyway, they made
They haven't made it yet because it grosses them out?
Well, also because they've been very busy.
That's more logical, but yeah.
But they did make me something else to hang on my tree, which is this nice pair of hairy testicles.
So the same people made this?
Absolutely. They made this, and they spent a lot of time on this. She sculpted it. She first of all, it's a friend, they're a couple, but they also work together, called Rouge Vernis is the name of the company. And so they made this together, but she actually hand sculpted the mold first before pouring this. It's not, she didn't mold something. She definitely didn't mold her boyfriend. Although I did hear that he was quite happy that they had a fireplace in the workshop, because he did have to spend a lot of time with his pants down, so she could look for reference.
That's beautiful. Does it feel like a ball?
More or less. It's kind of soft, and nothing moves around in it, so that's where it gets a bit funny. But It kind of does. It's the right weight. It's the right color. Nice and hairy, like one likes it. But it's funny. So my friend had been making this testicle, and they've been working on it for a while. And they have 2 kids who are, I think, 6.5 and 12 or something.
And now scarred for life?
No, because they've already seen so many different things. I think it's mostly of Mom and Dad, when are you going to stop with these stupid things? Because especially the little girl was not thrilled that the guy has a WhatsApp group where he shares their new projects. And he put these testicles in the WhatsApp group. Little girl's teachers are all in that group too. She was like, why did you do this? The little 6-year-old boy at school apparently told somebody that my mommy is making fake balls for someone who had his balls taken out. And so she said it has been actually, although it sounds funny and kind of stupid, it was more of a learning moment where she then explained, well, no, here's what testicles are. You've got a pair, he's got a pair. Don't let people touch yours, don't whatever. And she made it into a learning moment.
So your cancer has avoided so many Catholic Church scandals. Yes. You're doing a public service announcement by getting cancer. It's very, very nice.
I guess so. She also said it was quite funny that, it's usually, people talk about balls and it's, balls. It's funny, but they took this seriously, even though it is a funny gift. And she studied a lot of pictures, a lot of stuff, and she's quite impressed by balls now, she said. She says, you realize that they need to be respected, and they're quite beautiful little things that contain a whole world within them. I thought that was quite nicely said.
Very cool.
And so then I posted these balls also on Reddit, as I like to do.
Yeah.
I didn't really expect it to get a huge liking, because it was like Christmas Day, and balls hanging on a tree, and it's kind of gross. But I ended up getting like 40,000 upvotes.
Nice.
And 3 people have ordered these same balls. We're like, I need to have those same ones for my house for next year. My wife's going to hate it.
So you've actually given business to the Rouge something.
Oh, yeah, I'll give them the business. Oh, no, sorry. But yeah, exactly. One guy is ordering 2 because he wants one for him and one for his urologist, which I thought was rather nice.
All right, so we're definitely having a ball merch.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
In collaboration with these or someone else, and yeah.
And it's funny because, 40,000 likes, got like 1,000 comments, and everybody's really nice. People were grossed out too. You had the people just saying, okay, what a terrible day to have eyes. And so some people just didn't want to see it, but lots of people were really nice, really supportive. Other people who were like, hey, I'm a uniballer too. Welcome to the club. And got some good nicknames people had. Uniball, monoball, probably my favorite, testiclops, or testiclops, I guess.
How many people said chestnuts roasting on an open fire?
Quite a few, actually. Honestly, if I was a Star Wars character, I would be only one Kenobi, apparently.
If you take a picture of having that testicle on your chest, that would be chestnuts roasting on an open fire with a fireplace in the background. That should be your holiday card. Anyway.
Okay, I thought you were just going to say chesticle, but you're right. So then if I was a Mexican Star Wars, I'd be Obi-Wan Cajone, I guess, or something.
But what was the text when you posted the photo?
I just said I had to have a testicle removed this summer, and friends made me this for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Which people thought was quite funny. I did like that somebody thought I had a great outlook on this, and I don't think we've mentioned this before. He said, you look like a sack half full kind of guy. I thought that was kind of good. Other people thought it just looked like a fig or like a meatball that had rolled under the sink. There's also surprisingly a lot of people who seem to have not much basic knowledge of anatomy. Because first of all, a lot of people thought this was real.
It does look real.
It does look real, but as somebody else mentioned, the doctor would have to be a little aggressive if he actually takes off your scrotal skin at the same time as the testicle. He's gone a little too far.
Do you have a profile picture on Reddit?
No.
With the mustache and the short hair and the pink t-shirt, you give off kind of like a Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs kind of vibe. So if you had a real scrotum hanging on your tree, that would just be normal serial killer etiquette.
Put the lotion on the scrotum.
That's also a good title for this episode.
But yeah, so these are fake for anybody wondering. Just to be sure, they're completely fake. Mind you, a friend of mine, right after I had the operation, a friend of mine who's an osteopath, the first thing he asked is, can I touch your fake ball? I said no. But you can lick it. No. Which I'm also surprised. This is kind of random, but we never talk about we don't talk enough about French literature on here.
Very little, yeah.
But if we did, we'd probably speak about the author Honoré de Balzac, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's all. That's all I had to say. I'm just surprised we never brought him up.
Balzac!
But on Reddit, also just to finish up with that, it was really nice because lots of people made jokes, but there was also a ton of supportive people who wrote me private messages to say, oh, I went through the same thing. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to get back to me. And also some people who were worried, were like, oh, I saw you had a bad back. I've got a sore back. Do you think I have cancer? And I was like, well, yes, you do. No, I didn't say that. I just said, maybe go check yourself. And so that's good. I didn't do any diagnoses, though, because I'm not actually a doctor.
Really?
Not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
Yes, and a few people quoted my favorite movie, which I quite liked. They were like, you want a ball? I can get you a ball. Believe me, there are ways, dude. You don't want to know about it, but I can get you a ball by 3 o'clock this afternoon. With nail polish.
Big Lebowski?
Thank you.
It is quite ironic that your favorite movie is about throwing balls.
Oh, that is true. Yes, that's true. Because they're not talking about a ball, obviously, in the movie. It's about Bunny Lebowski's toe.
All right. So it's the 30th of December. Who knows when this will be out?
I'm guessing. I'm going into the hospital for people who don't know this yet, on the 3rd, getting operated on the 4th. So for all you know, you might be listening to this while I'm being operated on. It might be a little bit after. I don't know.
Did I ask you how long is the operation?
I don't really know. It's several hours, but I don't know if several is like 3 or 6.
Do you think?
But, I mean, all things considered, I don't really care how long it is. I'll be out.
All things considered. That's funny. But you know, in it's probably in real life as well, but we've only seen operations in the movies. They listen to music.
Yeah, I've seen that in movies, yep.
If your doctors listen to music while they operate you, do you think you will have a sort of special subconscious relationship to that music?
From then on, you mean?
Yeah. If they listen to Justin Bieber, who you're not necessarily the biggest fan of, but now you will kind of love him because you know he saved your life.
Baby, 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 baby. That's what he sings, right?
Yes, that is exactly how that song goes. Baby, 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 baby.
I love Justin Bieber.
It would be awesome because you're obviously under not the influence, but what are you drinking? Vegetable juice?
Yes. Kale.
That doesn't look like kale. It looks like whiskey in a tall glass.
Iced tea. Tea for testicle.
This is taking a turn for the worse. You've lost both your ball and your mind.
And my audience soon.
So it's been the weirdest year on record, both in terms of COVID and in terms of everything that's happened to you.
Yeah.
What are your hopes for the follow-up, the sequel, the 2022?
Well, I hope to be a character in the podcast and not just be. Well, the second season is Andreas talking about his dead friend.
I'll find new friends that are dying. No, don't you worry.
And so, I guess I hope to get healthier. I hope to find a job, and I hope to meet you someday in a fjord.
Yes.
And run along with the wind through our hairs, holding hand.
Yes, in slow motion.
Chased by a troll.
We have a lot of those.
So I hear.
All right. Should we wrap it up for this year and come back strongly next year?
I think that's exactly what we should do. We forgot to remind people to like and subscribe and share, so I think I'll quote Jimmy Kimmel here, who says, "Subscribe and we'll be together till one of us dies."
Is that what he says?
Sometimes. That's one of his ending things.
Touch your balls.
And we'll see you all next year.
All right. I know the operation is going to go well, Joe, but just in case it doesn't, I love you, boy.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
See you in 2022.
Balls to the wall.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.